Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into something truly ancient and really fascinating. The Samhitas of the Vedas.
That's right, a foundational part of Vedic literature.
Exactly. We've been digging through our notes, research, and specifically a helpful resource, Understanding Vedas, Chapter 2, samhitas.pdf, to pull this together for you. And our mission, like always, is to kind of give you that shortcut, the key insights, the surprising bits, so you feel well-informed without, getting bogged down.
Distilling it down.
Precisely. Okay, let's unpack this. And where better to start than the Rigveda? Feels like the natural starting point, the bedrock.
It really is. I mean, what's foundational about it is that people often call it the oldest compilation of human wisdom.
A compilation, not just one single book.
Exactly. Think of it more like a library, several books compiled together, and you can even see older and later elements within it. Language, style, ideas. It developed over time.
Right.
It's definitely the earliest sacred book of India we have, and it's the oldest and, frankly, the biggest of all four Vedas. Wow.
And you can really see the seeds of later Indian religion and philosophy starting right there.
So this huge compilation, how do they keep it all straight? I mean, what's the structure like? Is it just a jumble of verses?
Oh, no, not at all. It's actually quite systematic, which is pretty amazing for its age. The whole thing, the Rigveda Samhita, is in verses. They're called rik.
Rick?
Yeah, rik. It comes from a root word R-E, meaning to praise. So a rik is basically a verse of praise, usually for a deity.
Okay.
And these riks are organized into 10 large sections, like volumes, called mandalas.
10 mandalas.
Within those, you have 1,028 suktas. Think of those as hymns or chapters. And then those suktas are made up of the individual mantras, the verses themselves. About 10,552 of them.
That's incredibly specific. 10 mandalas, 1028 suktas. So each verse, each mantra isn't just random praise then.
No, absolutely not. Every single RC, every verse has sort of 3 key tags associated with it. There's a rishi.
It's seer, the one who envisioned it. Exactly. Then there's a devata, the specific deity or force it's addressed to, and a chandas, which is the poetic meter, the rhythm.
Ah, the meter, right.
So a reference like RV 3.16.7 that just tells you it's the 7th mantra in the 16th sukta within the 3rd mandala. It's a precise system.
That makes sense, like coordinates on a map.
Kind of, yeah. And it's interesting. Different mandalas are often linked to specific rishi families, like the Vishvamitras or the Vashistas.
Fascinating. Any particular hymns from the Rigveda that stand out, ones people might have heard of?
Oh, definitely. Some are very well known, especially for their philosophical depth. The Purusha Sukta is famous, and the Nasadiya Sukta. That one's amazing. It asks these profound questions about creation. Where did everything come from?
Questions we still ask today.
Absolutely. But beyond those, the Rigveda covers a huge range. The seers talk about all sorts of things, poetically, philosophically, religiously. It's vast.
Okay, so that's the Rigveda foundational wisdom, poetry, praise. Now, you mentioned the Yajurveda is different. Here's where it gets really interesting, right? It shifts gears.
It really does. Quite a big shift. If the Rigveda is primarily poetry, the Yajurveda is principally in prose.
Prose, okay.
And its name, Yajush, is directly connected to the word yajna, which means sacrifice.
Ah, so is the Veda of sacrifice then?
That's its core identity, yes.
Yeah.
It's essentially the ritual handbook for a specific priest, the Advari, a priest.
The Advari, what was their role?
Think of the Advaryu as the main conductor of the physical sacrifice. They did everything from choosing the ground for the altar.
Setting things up.
Right. Measuring it out, building the altar, preparing the offerings, actually performing the oblations into the fire. It's a very practical, hands-on guide for that priest.
Okay, unlike, say, the Samaveda priest who sings.
Exactly. The Samaveda is the songbook for the Udgata priest, but the Yajurveda is the action manual for the Advari.
A practical handbook.
Mm-hmm.
But is that all it is? Just ritual instructions? Or is there more depth?
Oh, there's definitely more. While it is rooted in ritual, it also presents important philosophical ideas. You find concepts like prana, the life force, and manas, the mind, discussed.
So philosophy mixed in with the ritual steps.
Yes. And it's also incredibly valuable for historians because it gives us glimpses into the religious and social life of the time. Even some geographical details pop up.
That is interesting. And you mentioned it has a unique twofold classification. That sounds intriguing. Shukla and Krishna.
That's right. The Shukla Yajurveda and the Krishna Yajurveda. It's basically two major schools or versions.
What's the difference? Is it like different recipes.
That's a great analogy, actually. Think of the Shukla Yajurveda, the white Yajurveda, like a recipe book where the ingredients list the mantras are kept totally separate from the cooking instructions, the explanations, called brahmanas.
Okay, clear separation.
Yes. But the Krishna Yajurveda, the black Yajurveda, mixes it all up. The mantras are woven right into the explanatory prose, step by step.
Ah, I see. Like instructions with the ingredients listed as you go.
Exactly. The Shukla school is called the Aditya school. The Krishna is the Brahma school, different traditions. And there's this story about how the Shukla version came about.
Oh.
Yeah, involving the sage Yajnavalkya. Apparently, he displeased his teacher, Vaishampayana, had to give back the Veda he learned, and then learned a new version directly from the sun god Surya, who appeared in the form of a horse, a Vaji.
A horse.
Which is why the Shukla Yajurveda is also called the Vachasanya Samhita Vachasani, meaning related to the horse or given by the horse sun.
What a story. Okay, so within these Yajurveda versions,
Yeah.
what kinds of sacrifices are we talking about?
Some really important ones. Things like the Darsha Purnamasa, those are the new moon and full moon rituals, the Agnihotra, which is a daily fire offering, major ones like the Somayaga involving the Soma plant, and even the famous Ashvamedha, the horse sacrifice usually performed by kings.
Right, the big royal one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Generally, the content breaks down into sections on the Darsha Purnamasa, the Somayaga, and the Agnikayanas. That's the elaborate ritual of piling up the fire altar. And what's fascinating here is that the very last part of the Vahasani Samhita, the Shukla version, actually contains the Ishavasi Upanishad.
An Upanishad.
Yeah.
Right in the Samhita.
Yes, a very profound philosophical text. Some scholars think maybe those final sections were added a bit later, partly because they get explained in so much detail in a later text, the Shatapatha Brahmana.
That makes sense. Okay, moving from prose and ritual action, let's turn to the Veda that sings, the Samaveda. This sounds completely different again.
It really is a different flavor entirely, and it's actually the shortest of all four Vedas.
The shortest, really.
Yep. And what's key to understand is how closely tied it is to the Rigveda. It didn't really generate a lot of new verses. Instead, it took many verses, a huge chunk actually, straight from the Rigveda Samhita.
So it borrows heavily from the Rigveda.
Very heavily, especially from the 8th and 9th mandalas of the Rigveda.
Okay, so if it's using Rigvedic verses, what makes it distinct? Is it purely the musical aspect?
That's the core of it. It's compiled almost exclusively for ritual use, specifically for the Soma sacrifices. And the point is, the verses aren't just recited like in the Rigveda or used as prose instructions like in the Yajurveda. They become musical chants, samans.
Samans, so the melody is the key.
Exactly. Saman means melody or chant. It's all about the singing. The priest who does this is the Udgatra priest.
A singer priest.
Right. And this focus on different types of mantras, the Rik, verse, the Yajus, prose formula, and the Saman chant, is why the Vedas are sometimes traditionally called Trey, meaning a triad, represents these three forms.
Rik, Yajus, Saman. The three types. Got it. Now, does this musicality, does it connect to a deeper spiritual purpose beyond just the ritual performance?
Oh, absolutely. Its spiritual weight is pretty significant. I mean, in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna famously declares, "Among the Vedas, I am Samaveda."
That's a powerful endorsement.
It really is. And while the chants invoke gods like Indra or Agni, just like the Rigveda, many feel these prayers in the Samaveda are often directed towards the Supreme Being, maybe in a more devotional way.
Ah, so a shift towards devotion.
Yes. The idea is that Soma, the main subject of the chants, comes to represent something deeper, the all-pervading Lord, Brahman, who you can reach through, well, through devotion and musical chanting. So Upasana, worship and devotion, that's really its major theme.
Music as a path to the divine.
That's beautiful.
How is it structured then, around this idea of melody?
Well, as we said, Saman means melody, so that's its essence. Ancient tradition talks about, believe it or not, 1,000 different schools or shakas of the Samaveda.
1,000?
Yeah, imagine. But sadly, only 3 main ones survive today. The most well-known is the Kathuma Shaka.
Only 3 left.
And here's that really interesting statistic again. Out of its 1,875 verses, 1,771 are directly from the Rigveda.
Wow, so almost all of them.
Almost all. Only 99 verses are unique to the Samaveda itself. Its uniqueness isn't about new text, it's about setting that Rigvedic text to music, transforming it into chant for devotional practice.
Incredible. Okay, last but definitely not least, the Atharvaveda. You said this one is quite different from the others. How so?
Yeah, the Atharvaveda, sometimes called the Veda of the Atharvans, it sort of broadens the focus considerably. It contains directions, mantras, often related to practical things like warding off evil, overcoming hardship, ensuring well-being in this life.
More worldly concerns.
To an extent, yes. But crucially, it also contains very significant philosophical thought. The term Atharvan itself can mean a priest, but it also suggests a stable-minded person, even a yogi. And its older name was Atharvaveda, linking it to ancient sage families.
Okay, so practical and philosophical, but what's its most distinguishing feature, the thing that really makes it stand out?
Without a doubt, it's the connection to medicine. It's widely considered the oldest literary record we have of Indian medicine.
The origin of Ayurveda, you mentioned.
Exactly. Many believe Ayurveda has its roots right here. You find mantras specifically aimed at curing diseases, both physical and mental ones, prayers for protection against snakes, insects.
Practical stuff.
Very practical. And importantly, descriptions and uses of actual medicines, medicinal herbs. This focus on healing, on the body, on tangible well-being, that really sets the Atharvaveda apart from the primary focus of the other three.
That's fascinating. A Veda concerned with medicine and herbs. But this raises an important question. Does that practical focus mean it's maybe less philosophically deep than the others? What about its metaphysical side?
No, not at all. That's a common misconception. Actually, the philosophical parts of the Atharvaveda show a pretty sophisticated level of metaphysical thinking.
Really? Like what?
You find many core ideas that become central later in the Upanishads, things like the concept of a highest god, Prajapati, as the creator and preserver, even ideas about an impersonal creative force behind everything.
So echoes of later Vedanta.
Definitely. And key terms like Brahman, tapas, austerity or creative heat, asat, non-being, prana, life force, manas, mind. They are all present and explored here. It's crucial for understanding how those ideas developed.
Wow, so it really bridges the practical and the profound. From the listener's perspective then, why is the Atharvaveda so relevant? What makes it stand out for us today?
I think what's really compelling about it is that it's perhaps the only Veda explicitly concerned with both worldly happiness and spiritual knowledge. It aims for well-being here and now, and also ultimate liberation.
The best of both worlds.
Kind of. The commentator Sayana praised it for that, saying it fulfills both ends, this world and the next. That makes it incredibly interesting, I think, for anyone today. It covers such a wide range of philosophy, social customs, politics, agriculture, science, medicine. It's like an ancient encyclopedia.
Amazing.
Yeah, with famous hymns like the Bhumi Sukta, which is this beautiful hymn to the earth, or the Vivaha Sukta about marriage rituals. It's incredibly rich and diverse.
What an incredible journey that was.
Yeah.
Seriously. From the Rigveda's poetic wisdom
The foundation.
to the Yajurveda's detailed rituals,
The how-to.
then the Samaveda's devotional chants, and finally the Atharvaveda's blend of worldly well-being and deep philosophy, each so distinct yet all part of this foundational Samhita literature.
Absolutely. And if you connect this to the bigger picture, understanding these texts isn't just about ancient India. It's about seeing the very early seeds, the first expressions of complex philosophical, spiritual, even scientific ways of thinking that have, echoed down through millennia.
Right.
The Samhitas, in their specific nature, their form, their contents, they really do lay the groundwork for so much that came later. It's humanity's early attempt to grasp the world.
So something for you, our listener, to think about. Consider how these ancient collections, poetry, ritual, music, medicine, how they reflect this enduring human quest, this need to understand our world, both the seen and the unseen. What stands out to you about these different ways of knowing, and how do they compare? What does it tell us about our ongoing quest for meaning?